If you want comfort, go read a cookbook. If you want transformation, welcome to the Strange Sculpting Podcast. I'm Don Strange. We kill excuses, prioritize protein, and build discipline. Let's get to work.
There it is. Welcome to Strange Sculpting Podcast. Hey, before we get into this episode, I want you guys to do me a favor. If you like this, please, I want you to share it, and I want you to send it to somebody who's working really hard but not getting results, because this whole podcast is going to be about a lot of people that, they confuse activity with accomplishment. And I'm not looking for attention. I don't need the likes, but I do want you to like it because it helps the algorithm. But I'm actually here to help as many people as I can get in the best shape of their life. The people that are tired and frustrated, they're doing everything except what actually works. And there's lots of those people, Corey, lots of people. So today's episode, I'm going to read straight out of my book, Myths That Never Die. It's actually my favorite chapter in the book. One day I might give away this chapter for free because this is golden. It's Myths That Deserve to Die, Sacred Cows Meet the Slaughtering House. Once again, the book is a 40-day fix. I'm going to talk right from this book. It just came out. Go to Amazon.com and you can buy it. Type in the 40-day fix. It's easy to spell because I don't spell well. So the biggest word in there is only 3 letters long. And most of the words in here are less than 3 to 4 letters long because I speak and I think on the 5th grade level. I think that helps me. Okay. By the way, I'm here with Corey Eggleston. Corey Eggleston is a competitor. And right up front, this book right here is not for competitors. Competitors discipline for years to get on stage and possibly get a medal. This book is for normal people like you and me. People, we want to borrow the kind of discipline that Corey has for years for just 40 days. That's what this is about. If Corey can discipline himself every stinking day, and we can't stand him because he's the most disciplined man in the world, if he can discipline himself every day for years, certainly everybody, listen to this. You can do 40 days, right? Okay. So I'm going to read a short segment of the book. Just be Corey patient. Be Corey. Be patient, Corey. Not be Corey patient. Gotcha. Be patient, Corey. And you're used to hearing me talk anyway, because most of the time I'm blabbing and you're just listening and you nod your head very nicely. I appreciate that. So I'm going to read a short segment of the book, and then we're going to talk about it. Okay. Number one, the myth number one in my book: you can't out-train a bad diet. You can't outrun your fork, period. Most people burn maybe 300 to 400 calories in a workout. That's one slice of pizza. Then they turn around and inhale 1,000 calories at dinner like they earned it. Do the math. The treadmill doesn't stand a chance against your appetite. This is why you see the same people grinding away on the elliptical year after year without changing a single notch on their belt. They sweat, they suffer, and then they reward themselves with a frappuccino and a muffin big enough to choke a horse. Net results, 0. Here's the hard truth. Discipline in the kitchen beats hours in the gym. You can train hard, sweat buckets, push weight, but if you eat like an unsupervised teenager in a pizza buffet, your waistline will expose you every time. Training shapes your body, but diet decides if that shape is lean or soft. Stop thinking you can undo bad choices with burpees. That's like trying to fix a flat tire by turning the radio up so you don't hear the flat tire thumping in the background. It doesn't work. You don't out-train bad eating. You out-discipline it. That's facts. My gosh. I need to read that myself again. That was good.
That's good stuff for sure.
Now let's stop talking about the theory. I'm going to show you something in real life. And Corey, whenever I show this, don't judge me, but these are in my pantry. I want you to show you this. Ruffles. Ruffles original potato chips. Delicious. Get this bag, which is the Costco bag, so it's a little bigger. It's got 28 servings. It literally is 1 pound. No, it's 28 ounces. So 1 pound, 12 ounces of potato chips. Take a wild guess how many calories in this whole bag.
Whole bag?
You don't have, you can guess if you want to. You want me to tell you, I will. It's up to you. You want to guess, Corey, or you just want me to tell you?
It's going to be 3,000 calories.
4,480 calories.
Okay.
Okay. Now get this. Let me just put in context. The average person burns about 100 calories when they walk a mile. That means you need to walk about 45 miles to burn off. If you have this whole bag, and let me tell you, that's only a pound and 12 ounces of food. Most people aren't going to do this. They won't do it at one time anyway. They would eat the bag during the day. They snack on it. And they might only have a quarter of that bag, but then they're eating something else. It's just it's got just as many calories in it as far as density. But 45 miles, if you eat that entire bag in order to burn off 45 miles, that's not a workout, and that's a pilgrimage. Now, to cut another analogy, an apple is roughly 85 to 95 calories, but we'll go higher. We'll go a medium-sized apple, 95 calories. To match that bag, exactly, you'd have to have 47 apples. I'm not a freaking horse. I'm not going to eat 47 apples. Not in a week. Nobody gets fat eating God's food. We get fat eaten by this crap, which I love, Ruffles. I got this bag of chips. I like them. But you can't eat them all the time. And if you do, you got to be smarter than the bag they came in. Now, give you another one. Asparagus. I like asparagus. I don't know if you like asparagus. Asparagus is a natural diuretic, by the way. It makes you get rid of a lot of water.
It's probably my vegetable of choice if I go to a steakhouse or something and I get a side, that's usually asparagus.
Steak and asparagus. I love that. I imagine on my meal plan, I gave you a lot of asparagus because it gets rid of water weight. Okay. In order to eat 40, what was that? What did I say? 4,400 or roughly 4,500 calories.
Yeah. 4,500 calories. We'll say
4,500 calories. You need to eat 67 pounds of asparagus. Literally, Corey, if I was in a asparagus field and I'm eating asparagus, I don't know, does asparagus come in fields? I think they do. Maybe trees, asparagus tree. If I was plucking the spears of asparagus off the tree and eating them in a asparagus orchard, I would literally have to eat. I would die because my base metabolic rate's about 3,000 calories. I would never eat 40 pounds of asparagus in a day. You physically cannot do that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This is why people work hard but feel like they're going nowhere. Because exercise literally shapes the body, but food reveals it. If you're eating nothing but sponge cake, your body's going to look like a sponge cake. Trust me, I love Twinkies, and my body looked like a Twinkie for a long time. If you look at my before pictures, sweat doesn't override math. It's a fact. And effort doesn't cancel appetite. So now I'm going to ask you some questions, Corey.
Yep.
Corey, you've been disciplined for years. Whenever I've known you, as a trainer, I've literally tried to give you foods that were not perfect. And you're like, I don't want that. I'm not going to do Don's chili. Don's best chili, by the way. It's really good chili. You're not going to do those things. And I always tell people they go hard or they go long. And so I'm always trying to fit a food in people's lifestyle. Well, when I met Corey's lifestyle is living the brand like crazy. It's like chicken and rice every day. He was really easy to work with because what am I going to do? He's not fighting cheeseburgers like the rest of the world. But for a normal person, 40 days feels very extreme because they've never actually lived with discipline before. So I'm going to ask you about 3 or 4 questions. Number one is, what happens when food is non-negotiable? What happens when food is non-negotiable? If it's not the voice that you understand it. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the thing is when food's non-negotiable as far as when you are, I think the question is when you're on a plan and you can't change it.
Yep.
Is that what you're getting at? Yeah. I mean, so you're going to see results no matter what, even if you don't, even if you're not working out or exercising, which hopefully you are, if you're on a diet plan, but even if you're not, if you're on a strict calorie count and you're eating the same thing every day and you know how many calories you're getting in, you're going to see results, whether it's losing weight, whether it's muscle mass, whatever it may be. But when you take that out of the equation and you're not focusing on all right, well, I got to do this, got to do that with my food. I got to, make sure I, get this much carbs. If you're eating the same thing every day, which is what I typically do, it's the same thing every day. So I'll track it when I'm changing it up a little bit, but I don't change that often. And I'll track it to make sure that I'm at the calorie count that I want to be at, and my carbs and my proteins, my fats and everything are where they should be. But then I don't track it every day because I don't have to, because it's the same thing. Now, Don, if you work with Don, he'll give you a meal plan that is diverse. He'll give you different things. And so you got to make sure that you're tracking those each time. But if the food is not something that you need to go back and forth about, then you can focus on the activity, right? You can focus on the exercise. So whether that's walking 30 minutes a day, whether that's sweating it out in the gym 4 days a week for an hour or 45 minutes and lifting weights and trying to build some muscle, then those results are going to come not only quicker, but you're going to be able to see them, and they're going to be more aware to other people. I think that's where you were going with that question. But
well,
yeah,
I think food, food doesn't rule you. Basically, it doesn't rule you. You rule food. And whenever food becomes a non-negotiable, you just do it. And that's what the 40-day fix is all about. You just do the plan and it works. And it's a quick fix. It's a quick fix that that's a foundation for nutrition for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And I think it's like when the food comes and you're looking at it more as a tool, right? You're not looking at it as like I love to eat food. Don't get me wrong. And I eat food I like. I love steak. Steak's a great food to eat for your body, right? I have no problem eating steak every day. I think for about 7 months, I was eating 20 ounces of ground beef a day. I love ground beef. It didn't bother me whatsoever. I loved it. Now, for some people, you can't do that every day. I get it. But like I said, when you're using it as more of a tool, and not so much as like, oh, well, I really love pizza or I really love ice cream or whatnot. And you get the emotion out of it. That's what's going to change. You're going to start to change things a lot faster.
You know, what's funny is I knew that it was going to segue right into that. You got a good mind. What changes mentally when eating isn't emotional? That was my next question. What changes mentally whenever eating is emotional? And I think you started delving in that, but you got anything else you could say about that? I guess, you know what?
My personal experience, it's just, I look at it as not only a tool, but fuel, right? So I know, like, if I get X amount of carbs or X amount of protein, that's what I'm going to need in order to maintain or build muscle mass or lose weight. And so when you're show prepping, like Don and I work together we worked together hardcore for about 10 months. And so those first 4 months I was building, right? So I was gaining weight. And so we were looking at how much food the quantity of the food, what should I be eating in order to put on as much weight as I possibly can in these 4 months? That was the goal. Put on as much weight as we can in 4 months without getting overly fat, right? Without gaining an overly large amount of fat, which we were able to accomplish. And then the last 6 months is, okay, now we're going to start chipping away, right? We're going to start taking off calories a little bit at a time to maintain the muscle that we were able to build, but strip that fat away. So again, yes, food's great. I love to eat, but where I'm at, I look at it more as a tool. And so the emotion isn't in it. It's the goal at the end of the road for me. I know this is what I have to do to reach where I want to go. And so I don't care about the food really. It's just, it's something that I have to do in order to get where I want to be. And that's also, it's not just prepping for a show. If you want to do that, that's awesome. That's a great way to learn some discipline. You can't do it without that. But once you figure that out, and then you can start to work things back in, hey, go out with your friends and you can enjoy something here or there. But I think it's, like I said, once you start to look at it, not as like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, but this is what I have to do in order to get where I want to be.
Yep. I think the key there is actually looking at your vision. Where do you want to go? Yeah. I find people who don't have, like, your goals are always exciting. Hey, you want to get on stage, and no matter what, you make the event or the destination more excited than the pasta. You make the destination more exciting than the pizza, because we're emotional creatures. And so bottom line is, you're thinking, you thought differently than everybody else in order to get up on stage. A lot of people think it's all in, the recipe for success. Well, the recipe of success involves discipline, and discipline's much easier when you got your eyes on the prize. If you're if you're thinking, if there's not a carrot in front of you that you want to grab, it's very hard. Okay. Next question is this: why does structure actually create freedom? Is that a big one? That's a tough one.
No,
Structure.
I got it. I think I got
You're
it.
smart.
If you need to, I try, right? I fake it till I make it.
That's good. That's fine with
So,
me.
yeah,
I gave you deeper questions on this one. Why does structuring actually create freedom? I want to hear from you, Corey.
What I have to say. So I think that when you have that sort of like when you have that structure, right? Whether it's in, well, we can take it just in any aspect, right? Whether it's in your family, whether it's in your job, but we'll look at it as a fitness and diet standpoint. When you have that structured diet, and so then now you would know exactly what you have to do, you know exactly what you're going to have to eat. That gives you the freedom to focus on other things, right? That gives you the freedom to focus on your exercise. That gives you the freedom to focus on, okay, well, I don't have to worry about, well, what am I going to have for lunch? What am I going to have for dinner? And I tell people all the time when they say, hey, I want to lose 15 pounds. I want to lose 10 pounds. I say, okay. I say, are you tracking your food? Well, no, I just kind of, eat what I eat. I'm okay. Well, first thing you need to do is you need to get yourself a little scale. You need to track your food, right? Because you need to be structured if you want the freedom in order to be able to move towards your goal. But if you're not structured, you're never going to know which direction you're going. One day you're going to have 4,000 calories and you're going to have, 130 grams of fat, or the next day you're going to have 2,700. So you're not going to have the freedom in order to reach your goal if you're unstructured. So if you're not knowing what you're putting in your body, if you don't know how many calories you're burning, then you're never really going to get to where you want to be. And again, most people's goal when they come up to me, or probably you, is like, hey, I want to get in better shape. I want to lose some weight. I want to tone up. Well, it's calories in and calories out, right? It's bottom line. And so if you don't know how many calories you're putting in, you'll never know how many you're getting out of it. And so naturally, let's just say, right, the average human, they say, 2,000 calories a day, right? And so I probably burn closer to 3,000, as do you. Somewhere around there. So our maintenance, what we call maintenance calorie count, would be 3,300 calories. So in order for me to lose weight, I want to drop it down to 2,700 or something like that, right? So nothing crazy, which is still more than some other people eat. But again, that structure, sorry, I kind of went off tangent there, but the structure that you have in your diet, in your regimen, is going to give you the freedom to focus on other things. I always woke up, I was an early work gym person. So my alarm would go off at 3:45, 3:30-ish in the morning. And I would get in there and I would knock my workout out before my kids woke up. So I was home in time to spend some time with my kids to give me that freedom and then because people were like, why don't you just go at night? I was like, okay, well, after the kids go to bed, it's, 7:30, then I miss an hour and a half of time with my wife. So the meal prep, so then I just, in the morning, I don't have to worry about putting anything together. I grab my container, put it in my lunchbox. I'm good to go. So again, I don't know if I answered exactly what you wanted me to say, but
you did.
I just feel like that structure is going to give you the freedom to focus on other things. And then once it becomes a habit, man, game over. Like it's how fast and how hard you want to go once you really develop those habits of meal prep and exercise.
Yeah. Structure builds freedom. You think about this for a second. You think about most people ruled by, dopamine hitting the nucleus accumbens.
Yeah.
This is ruling them. In reality, they want to be in great shape. You got about 80% of the population is overweight, obese, or severely obese. That's sad. And they're they don't have freedom. They are controlled by the food manufacturers, controlled by their own appetite. They don't have a vision of where they want to go. And so that makes food negotiable. That makes emotional eating. And that creates a product of a victim mentality that makes you a slave to the food industry. And so what Corey has beat the crap out of in his life is discipline. And he's very free. He was talking even about goes to the gym early in the morning. That creates freedom to spend time with his family at night, which is the most important thing, right? And so structure absolutely creates freedom. Discipline is a purest form of self-love. It's actually the last fruit of the spirit. Not going to get biblical with you, but I just did. But
we always do.
What'd you say?
We always do at some point.
Exactly. It's a purest form of self-discipline. It's a pure form of self-love. And the Bible says, love yourself. And you have a hard time loving your neighbor if you don't love yourself. I love me a lot. I look in the mirror and say, man, I look in my mirror and I'm chubby. And I said, man, you look good. You look good. I wish I had abs like Corey. And I said, man, but I like those Ruffles potato chips. But you know what? If I keep my eyes on the prize, though, if I keep my eyes focused on the 6-pack abs, what I want, it keeps me away from those Ruffles, Corey. And that's what I want everybody else. Hey, this isn't about being a competitor, so don't sell that. The reason why I got Corey on here, because Corey, he inspires me. He's like the 1%. I'm in the top 20%. He's in the top 1%. He'll always be in the top 1% in fitness. He lives the brand. He's the real deal as far as the competitor. He'll be, if he's not a competitor, you'll never see him at your local pool without 6-pack abs. And he'll have 6-pack abs and think he's chubby because that's his mindset. He's got a different mindset than most people. But this isn't about becoming a competitor. It's about proving to yourself that food doesn't control you. That's what we want to do. And that's what the 40-day fix is all about. This isn't about bodybuilding prep. So please don't misunderstand. This is 40 days. Temporary discipline to expose permanent excuses because people have lots of excuses. If you read this book, it's not an easy book to read. I love it, though. I love it because I love truth, and it makes me laugh because I call my own excuses out in it. I can't wait for you to read it, Corey. It just came out, so don't give Corey a break. He will read it.
I will read it.
Bottom line is we want to break bad habits long enough to expose lies, long enough to prove you're not broken. You're just undisciplined. That's what this is all about. Competitors need discipline for years like Corey. Normal people need it for 40 days to win their life back. And so this is what I need you guys to do. I'm going to close now. I hate to close because I've got so much more stuff I want to do. I wish I could read the whole book to you, but I'm not going to do that. If this episode hits you right between the teeth, or if you like this episode, good. I'm glad you liked it. But if it did hit you, I'm glad too, because discomfort is honesty knocking at the door. So I want you to go do right now. You can go get this, go buy this book on Amazon, 40-Day Fix. It's in Kindle. The hardback will be ready January 1st. But the 40-Day Fix, this is no guessing to it. This is probably whenever I first do this, because I love giving people options. There's no options in this. It's as cut and dry as it possibly can. I love options. Everybody loves options. But I made it where it was a no excuse plan where if you want the fastest results possible, because everybody loves a quick fix. Nobody wants to admit it. But if you do a normal quick fix to make you fat, you got the cycle, fat gain and weight gain revolution. That's what America does. Fat gain, weight loss. They will lose weight and they lose fat. Or then they lose fat and muscle and they gain it back. This, even though it's a quick fix, it's going to break that because this is a foundation. You build on a foundation. You don't live on a foundation. And so you'll read this book, you do it, and then you move on to you add to it. You never stop doing this. Corey, even if he doesn't do the 40-day fix, he'll read this book and he'll say, absolutely, that is the foundation of my success. So I want you to grab this book, Amazon.com. Also, in the bottom, in the show notes below, that's what I call them on YouTube, you can get Corey Eggleston's Instagram. You get my Instagram. But I want you, if you like this, please, I want you to share it. I want you to like it. I don't care about the likes, but it does help the algorithm. And then I want you to give it to someone who that they're doing, they're messed up. You know, they're eating bad food, and that's everybody. So send this to everybody because everybody's eating bad food. I think that's Corey. You got anything else you want to tell people?
No, I was just gonna say, like I've worked with Don for a long time, and I know how knowledgeable he is with this field. So if you get the book and you're like, wow, this is great, but you don't really know if you still don't know how to start, contact Don. If you work with him for those 40 days, that's it, just 40 days, he will get you where you need to be. I can guarantee you that. So again, buy the book, and then if you're like, I want to go hyperspeed with this, contact Don and put him on the payroll, and then he'll get you where you need to be. I can promise you that.
I hope they do. And I can't wait to hire you. That's what is going to be my first hires. I know you're expensive though. You said, Don, I got to make more than $7 an hour. I said, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Well, thank you guys so much for listening, and you'll be back next week for a new episode.
That's right.